What's up, Taiwan? I'm Erika Liu with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan has finished upgrading its entire fleet of F-16 fighter jets. The 140 aircraft now have F-16V specifications involving enhanced radar and flight systems. The U.S.-made F-16 is one of the most advanced fighter jets in the world. In 2019, Taiwan purchased 66 of the jets. The country expects to finish receiving all F-16Vs by the end of 2026. It will then have one of the largest fleets of these aircraft in Asia. New footage shows a Chinese tugboat clashing with Taiwan's Coast Guard in Taiwan's territorial waters. The video recorded on the Coast Guard ship last week shows the Chinese boat just 3 nautical miles or 5 kilometers off Taiwan's southern tip. The vessel first said it was sheltering from rough conditions at sea. It then challenged Taiwan's Coast Guard, saying it was in Chinese territory, not Taiwanese. The boat finally left after Taiwan's Coast Guard threatened to board and detain it. Taiwan's armed forces has opened a new facility to prepare the country's military medics for disaster. Our reporter Bryn Thomas takes a look at the high-tech tools used to improve their responsiveness.
These soldiers are training at the Tactical Casualty and Disaster Rescue Training Building, a new part of Taiwan's National Defense Medical Center. Opened on Monday, the facility uses modern technology to prepare the country's medics for worst-case scenarios on and off the battlefield. It's part of a push by President Tsai to strengthen the country's armed forces against China, which has not renounced the use of force to take Taiwan.
这栋大楼具有多功能的救护训练环境，包括利用虚拟实境、扩增实境等技术，来营造战场救护的拟真训练。
These training facilities are meant to get the nation's soldiers ready to deal with disasters, accidents, and hazardous materials during peacetime and battlefield casualties in a conflict. By using technology to strengthen the Army, Taiwan is hoping for the best while preparing for the worst. Scott Huang and Bryn Thomas for TaiwanPlus.
President Tsai apologized to the country's indigenous people for mistreatment by the government, becoming the first president to do so. She made the remarks at an Indigenous Justice Committee meeting. She established the committee in 2016. Nearing the end of her final term, she says she remains hopeful that cooperation can continue between the government and indigenous people.
政府部门要跟原住民族来持续对话，所有的委员，也就是我们一起努力到我的任期的最后一天，大家说好不好？
As President Tsai's administration comes to an end, our reporter Tiffany Wong spoke with an Indigenous legislative candidate to see what could be next on the road for Indigenous transitional justice in Taiwan.
Now, Taiwan has been undergoing a period of transitional justice, which is mostly to hold the government accountable for the atrocities that happened during the White Terror or martial law period in Taiwan. And what does this mean to you, and what does this mean to Indigenous people?
那原住民族的转型正义比较特别的地方在于，就是我们在谈的不是特定的个人受害，而是整个族群在台湾的原住民各个族群在相同的历史背景之下受到就是来自就是国家政权的压迫跟侵害。那举例来讲会有哪一些呢？就是第一个包括说语言的流失，就是我们在日本时代被强迫讲日语，到了国民政府时代被强迫讲中文，那以至于在白色恐怖在威权时期的压力之下，我们很多的长辈他们现在已经没有能力传承族语给像我们这一代或是比我们还要小的下一代。那另外还有一个就是大家原住民族社会非常关注就是土地的问题。那我们都很清楚说在日本时期的时候，所有的土地被收归国有，但事实上这些土地上面是有我们的族群在上面生活跟生存。
So how do you think Indigenous people and the Taiwanese government can work together to affect transitional justice for Indigenous people?
我觉得当然就是在蔡英文总统执政的这个快要满8年的这个期间我们其实看见有蛮多的开始谈论。那个开始谈论其实是很重要的，可是那个开始谈论并没有实质的落实在相关的程序立法或者是相关的权力推进的这些步骤上面，甚至其实在这8年的期间，我们也看见有一些我们很关心的，比如说土地的问题，还有在原基法里面的咨商同意权的问题，那其实这些事情都非常非常可惜，因为我想从先不 不论下一任的总统是谁，但是在蔡英文之前的所有的总统，事实上都没有他做到的实质的部分这么多。但是你可以看见，就是他已经比大家都进步很多了。可是对于原住民族社会来讲，我们还是觉得就是整体的真正的那个推进那个权力进展的那个力量还是太小，而且速度也太慢了。
That was our reporter Tiffany Wong speaking with High Plains Indigenous legislative hopeful Sabangan. Migrant worker groups in Taiwan have called out a government center in charge of hiring workers directly from overseas. They say the center has been ineffective at tackling the foreign labor hiring system's problems.
殖民中心它在成立15年来，并没有去逐渐的补足这些的缺失，反而是划地自限，根本就只是一个直聘收文中心，不处理媒合，也不处理后续的生活咨询，只专注在程序上面。
Most of Taiwan's nearly 700,000 migrant workers are hired through private agencies, but these brokers have been criticized for charging workers high fees and other abusive practices. Authorities say the recruitment center provides essential services for migrant workers in Taiwan. A protest supporting these workers will be held on December 10th. Workers are trying to clean up an oil spill on Green Island in southeastern Taiwan. The oil has been found over a 50-meter stretch of coast. The pollution threatens local wildlife, and tourists are urged to stay away during the cleanup efforts, which may take a week. Local officials suspect ships may have illegally dumped waste oil in international waters. Countries are meeting to discuss tackling climate change at a UN summit in Dubai. Countries like Cambodia, which historically has contributed a tiny fraction of all emissions, are calling on developed countries to do more to combat climate change. Louise Watt reports.
"45-year-old Cambodian fisherman Siam Phuot, who goes out every day on Southeast Asia's largest freshwater lake, is seeing his catches dwindle. Fish stocks are on the decline in Cambodia's Tonle Sap Lake, and with them the sole source of income for many fishers' families and others in the industry. Experts say extreme weather brought by climate change, as well as dam building and overfishing, are threatening millions of people who depend on the lake for their livelihoods and food supplies. Some activists hope the UN COP28 climate conference taking place in Dubai will shine a light on how to support communities like these.
We hope that COP28 will be taking into account the important part, which is building the capacity of the community to be resilient to change.
The Cambodian government is already teaching fishing communities how to switch to fish farming or aquaculture, and it's calling for concerted climate action from countries around the world. But fisherman Siam Phuot is pessimistic. He says he doesn't want his children to follow in his footsteps. He wants them to pursue jobs that now offer better prospects than fishing, reminded every day as he is of the ever bigger effects of climate change. Dolphine Chen and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally, we leave you with footage of the northern lights seen across northern China last weekend. I'm Erika Liu. Take care and see you next time.
For more stories from here at the Twin Oaks Estate and around the world, make sure to visit TaiwanPlus News on social media.